Hello, my name is Betsy Hendrick, and I am a first-year higher education and student affairs leadership student at the University of Northern Colorado. I did my undergraduate education in early childhood education at the University of Minnesota and graduated in 2014. After graduating, I worked in higher ed for about 3 years and just started my graduate program this semester. As part of this vlog, I was asked to come up with a personal mission statement that will guide me inside of my practice. And my personal mission statement was to be consistent in my support, belief, and respect for others as they discover their significance in the world. One tenet of my graduate assistantships office, I work in the Office of Student Life, that really speaks to me. Part of the mission there is to cultivate a sense of belonging on campus, and I think that my mission speaks to that. I believe that everyone has a role that they play of greater significance in the world that serves more than themselves. Some personal philosophy or tenets that I identify with. So my foundation is in early childhood education, and I am fascinated with the development of the sense of self and coming into your own kind of development. And so in higher education, I see that a lot in the transformational style of leading that student affairs professionals can do. And so that's a reciprocal relationship between the student affairs practitioners' role with the student. So there's this constant feedback between the student and the professional, supporting each other on kind of their path to self-actualization, right? And I see this being the way that I lead currently, and that I've led in the past through an advisory role or a mentorship role. I also am very passionate about wellness. Previously, wellness to me meant physical activity and eating appropriately, hydrating, getting sleep, a lot of the physical domain of wellness qualities, but I've also grown into understanding wellness as also incorporating your environment, spirituality, intellectual achievement, social development, and financial health. And so supporting all of these areas and understanding that there might not always be balance, and there might be one area that needs more attention during a specific time, but that they all are committed to the wellness of a person. Two different philosophical influences that I see in my style and being really important to me. The first would be Dewey's problem-based learning. So understanding that education should be grounded in real-world problems of interest to the student and experiences from the student. So this can be learned through work, volunteering, serving on committees, being parts of student organizations, but that the work that a student is doing there is valuable and can supplement what they're learning within the classroom, if not lead to greater learning than what they're learning in the classroom. I know this to be true from my undergraduate experience. I decided not to pursue the field in which I gained my bachelor's degree because it just didn't speak to me anymore, essentially, and wasn't serving me in the way that I felt a program should. And so I decided to use a lot of the experiences that I gained outside of the classroom in my first careers after graduating. And I've decided again to expand on those through the higher education and student affairs leadership program. Kind of going hand in hand is the student learning movement and Learning Reconsidered 1 and 2. And so those speaking to the transformational quality as student affairs professionals, which is something that I really hope to, I hope to be a transformational leader and guide students to success through reciprocal relationships. And I believe that academic learning and student development are one and are linked together, that student affairs practitioners are extremely integral to the success and learning process of a student, and that students can learn through their actions, contemplations, and reflection. My understanding of social justice is growing every single day. So 6 months ago, I was only engaging in conversations around social justice and different ideas within social justice through the internet community that I was a part of and my social media use. And my horizons have really been widened since coming to the University of Northern Colorado and engaging in more dialogue around social justice regularly. My understanding is that social justice is both a process and a goal. And when I'm explaining social justice to others, I often use the model of equality and equity, and what equity looks like versus what equality looks like. So I think of the little picture of three people who are trying to look over a fence, and they are all propped up by either first the same box, even though they're different heights, and then the boxes are redistributed to give each person what they need to be able to see. This is a principle that was incorporated into my undergraduate education as well when speaking to working with students and what their needs might be as individuals. The idea of, instead of providing equality and an equal resource to everyone, really looking at equity and what each person needs to be successful. And that really lends itself also to my mission of allowing each person to have kind of their space within the world and operate in a space where they can have significance and play a role in greater good. So one piece of literature that I've read in 2 classes this semester that has really helped me in my understanding of how to approach social justice conversations with other people is the privileged identity exploration model. And it's helped me understand how I present in a space and how my identity exploration might also present in a space. And then I need to acknowledge both of those things in order to be a culturally competent practitioner. I believe that as a transformational leader on a college campus, that I would provide support in a reciprocal way towards students. So where I'm getting a lot of feedback from them, they're receiving feedback from me, we're learning from one another. But I also can see this happening with other departments or areas of campus to create strong partnerships that are focused on the holistic learning of the student. In order for this to happen, I believe that there needs to be a strong correlation between the espoused and enacted values of the institution, and that those also need to be values that I feel passionate or strongly about. So making sure that what is enacted from a university is also something that I could support, and that is expected of that institution. So making sure that there is that understanding of values as being a guide for both students and the institution. If that doesn't happen, there can be confusion, but there can also be some damaging effects between student understanding of the institution, community, or greater understanding of the institution when those espoused values and enacted values don't match up. That discourse can cause a lot of internal turmoil, but also external and greater turmoil. Conversations that need to be had in using students' time wisely, in using empirically grounded practices both within the classroom and outside of the classroom. And I also have a strong belief that as a student affairs practitioner, I am responsible for the broader and to the broader society, to shape students who are recognized and respected for their individual differences, but also appreciated for these individual differences that they bring to campus and their agency to make their own decisions within learning.